We took a little break from shipping yesterday and today and focused on a project that we had started maybe a month or two back. I made a video a little ways back, I'll link to it here, talking about this woodland barn structure. And Juan and I clocked some nice hours yesterday and today, got it further along. There's about a third of the roof, the metal roof committed to it. The purlins are up about halfway, and we still need to finish the rafters on the east end here. But I thought I would give a little walking tour of this space and how it's evolving. Probably another 2 to 3 full days of work, and we certainly would be able to get a roof on it before the winter sets in. Before I explain more about the structure, I should explain what's happening down below here. Yesterday I went to a dump area where people can dump leaf bags and lawn clippings and such just to get some bags, and I noticed that somebody had brought mountains of giant miscanthus grass. And so we took 2 truckloads back along with some leaf bags, and Juan and I organized them into roughly 10 to 20 count wads. You can see them organized here, crosshatched, so I can pull them, and now they're under the roof so they can stay dry. We're weaving them into the northern boundary of the property, and so we're doing like a checkerboard pattern for really good visual privacy for our neighbors. They may or may not want to be seeing the barn structure as we develop it. Either way, it seems nice to have a really natural but pretty substantial 12-foot tall visual barrier. So we'll infill all of that over time. I'll share how that looks once it's done. Some spots that we started earlier with a finer miscanthus along with bamboo growing is just about 100% of a visual barrier now from 0 to 8 feet, which is really lovely and should last through the winter. But looking forward to getting this whole thing dialed in a nicer way, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done, completely free. The scavenged fencing material from a fence company. I found the T-posts in a hedgerow at an old farm, and the miscanthus somebody was throwing out. So we got a 12-foot tall privacy fence, about 100 feet long for $0. Back to this structure. Something I think is really lovely about how it's evolving, these ankle braces or wind braces, knee braces, I'm not sure what the terms would be, but it's probably one of those. Juan has been developing these and really going for this beautiful, playful vibe. I think they're still going to be really functional, but we're using sections of ash that were left over from generating the rafters and headers, and he's going through and notching and making nice little recesses and then sending them in with a really assertive heavy-duty screw. It's the same screw we're using for appending the rafters to the headers, and it bites that wood so hard into the upright, and I think will confer a huge amount of strength. Right now he's focusing on the east-west plane, and there's almost no racking left in the structure when we go to shake it, and then we'll offer support up to the rafters as well, and it should make this a much stronger structure internally. We both agreed this one in particular looks like one of those inflatable wiggly guys that goes in front of like used car stores. You know what I'm talking about. This one doesn't wiggle, hopefully, but it's got that playful vibe to it. We really love it. Starting with the west end here, we've got purlins running every 2 feet up the whole length. We've got some little dips and issues. This is probably the biggest gap we have, but we'll make a nice little wooden thoughtful Y that connects to that. But other than that, the purlins and the rafters meet each other in a pretty nice way through most of the structure. It feels like a decently strong structure. The rafters are offset 18 to 20 inches between each other. The purlins are 2 feet, and they are really substantial black locust, so they are a legit structural skin as well. And the roof has been going on in a pretty smooth way. You can see there's a little bit of wave to it here or there. I actually kind of like that. It's gentle enough that it's not flexing or bending the roof metal. The pitch of the roof is gentle enough that it holds the option that we could flank the entire boundary with hay bales and infill with loose hay if we wanted it to be an insulated natural roof. For now, we're picking out sheets of roof metal from our traded roof metal pile with our friend that we're going to be installing a chestnut orchard for, who manufactures roof metal. And we're trying to go for like the vibe of a pond. There's some blue, there's some gray sheets in there. I think we're going to make something that looks like a pond if you were flying overhead. Nice like water tones. Since we have them, we might as well pick them. But you can see we've got these neat tones of like a bluish gray, light blue, darker blue, and so we'll pick from there. and build that out. I look forward to sharing with folks what that looks like when it's all said and done. We're going to save the red ones down there for another project. We have some pure black and pure red, and I thought that would be great for a firewood shed for the sides and the top. Inferno shed. We're going to get back to shipping tomorrow and may not be able to return to this for a while. Fingers crossed, my hope is that we can get all the angle bracing up at each of the posts, and that was probably like 4 or 5 hours of work away. And then I need to finish setting the rest of those rafters. We need to cut more purlins and set them, and then put the rest of the roof metal on. And so another 2 or 3 really solid days of work, and the structure should be in excellent shape to enter into this winter with all of the ash members completely dry and not exposed to winter weather. I think it's coming together pretty darn well with the traded roof metal, the second-hand roofing screws. I bought them in bulk from a contractor who was going out of business, and all the wood being generated from on-site except for the purlins, which is from a waste stream of a local mill. The structure really only has the cost of the heavy-duty fasteners and screws. We are right now still less than, I would say, $30 to $40 in parts for this structure. It'll certainly be under $100 when it's all said and done. You can't beat it for it's going to be 18 feet by 28 feet of covered space when it's all said and done. We'll share more updates once we get more done. One side note that I thought was really sweet, the quote-unquote waste product of this. Juan has been our lead peeler using a draw knife to take the bark off of all these ash and the locust. And it's just had a mountain of peelings right here. And what's amazing is that the waste stream of this kind of building, it's entirely organic matter. And so I just periodically rake it up, and we have a hugel mound here with a grape and another grape over there. And we can just take all of the waste shavings and build fertility on this mound. We'll cap it in soil later on. But one of my absolute favorite ways to build is creative experimental round pole style. And what strength! Under $100 for this. I'm going to be pretty thrilled to see what we can do with it. Thanks so much for watching.